Saludos mi gente, una vez más estoy aquí con ustedes, esta vez para mostrarle un video que muestra lamentablemente en la situación que se encuentran los padres en Estados Unidos, en muchos de estos estados donde el sistema educativo se mete a adoctrinar con esto de la ideología de género y con critical race theory. Eso, mi gente, viene pasando por décadas. Esto no es nuevo. Lo que pasa es que ahora se conoce un poquito más de esto, ¿verdad? Y se están dando a conocer esta problemática. Y una de las razones es porque esta gente son tan brutos, porque son anormales. Son idiotas. Esto es lo que produce las universidades hoy día. Que se sientan frente a una computadora, prenden un TikTok y hacen un video, y la mayoría de esta gente ya perdieron su trabajo. Gracias a Dios no están en el sistema educativo. Y nada, este video va a ser de principio a fin. Yo no voy a comentar nada. Quiero que ustedes lo escuchen, y los que no sepan inglés, no se preocupen, tiene subtítulos en español. Y lo hago porque aquí en Puerto Rico, el gobernador de Puerto Rico, diabólico, y el Partido Demócrata y los partidos de izquierda y los grupitos estos de progresistas están luchando para imponer la ideología de género, y eso no va a traer nada bueno, nada, pero nada. Y yo quiero que ustedes vean las mentes torcidas que ponen a educar hijos, a educar nuestros hijos. Las mentes torcidas.
I'm a fourth grade teacher, and I do a lot of work with social justice and equity in my classroom. We have racialized conversations all the time. I, Hannah Fannin Steele, am a racist.
Take a gander at what fourth grade curriculum's supposed to look like. No wonder the kids coming out of school are morons.
Product of the white dominant structure I was raised in. My people have done an excellent job lifting each other up. Unfortunately, that was on the backs of people of color. Because this is deeply embedded in my history, it is no wonder I was passed down views that are racially...
Do you notice something here? It's always about their history, not the kids' history, but the teacher's problems have to enter the classroom. God help us.
Problematic. Even though white supremacy can be unconscious, it is constant. Living in this society would have been a miracle for me to be anything but racist. Now that I know I have deeply rooted racist tendencies, I can constantly be looking and listening for how they surface in my life.
Here's a question for you guys. Since she's got deeply rooted problems, does that mean the kids have the problem? I'm going to keep saying this. This isn't her friend group, her cry closet, or her Wednesday and Friday group therapy session.
When a person of color gives me feedback for not being a good ally, I can say thank you and not get defensive. Something here I said could have been problematic because I'm always learning.
Okay, guys, I can't. This is too funny. So I'm at work.
What in the hell is in this person's face? It looks like she's got desert boogers, like she's been in Las Vegas too long, putting some Colombian snow up her nose, and then the mucus.
Este tipo es mi héroe. Este tipo es como si fuera Batman para mí.
Been in Las Vegas too long, putting some Colombian snow up her nose, and then the mucous membranes got crusty.
Those of you who don't know me, I use they, them pronouns, and I'm a preschool teacher. So instead of using Mr. or Miss, we use mix. So the kids have been really awesome doing that. I work with 3 and 4-year-olds. One of my kiddos came up to me and he goes,
The kids have been really awesome. Let me translate. The deconstruction of the culture is going well, comrades.
"Are you mixed up? Are you mixed up?" I was like, "No, sweetie, I'm not mixed up. I just use mix instead of Mr. or Mrs." And he's like, "Okay, I was worried."
Oh, my name's Josh. I use they, them pronouns in English, ella en español, and I got a lot of questions like this. So how do I bring this up to my teacher? How do you talk to colleagues about it? How do people respond to you? So where I work, everybody was really receptive. They wanted to learn more about.
Really receptive. Let me translate woke logic again. They had no choice. They got the memo. They wanted to keep their job. That's what really receptive means.
It's been a slow process, but they're learning more and they're integrating it. And this is across languages, so I feel super lucky. However, I know that's not the case for a lot of people.
Now, can you imagine a young couple just got here from Guatemala? Be honest with me here. Do you think they're really receptive to this kind of teacher? Their kids need to learn the basics, right? But you got a teacher who's going to spend time on her pronouns, shim's pronouns, zer's pronouns, instead of going with the premise that, hey, maybe English is not the first language in your house. We need to get you up to speed. Oh no, let's do some woke indoctrination so you'll never be successful in society.
All I can say is that try to talk to your teacher about it and explain to them that this is what non-binary people are doing in the language, and that by not including language like this.
I'm going to give this person a pro tip. Romantic languages, to include Spanish, don't have non-binary. They use masculine and feminine to describe things. So now the kids may not only suck at English, but they're going to be confused as shit in their own language. Do you see the problem here?
In the classroom, it's making people who are non-binary, or maybe are non-binary and they don't know, feel unsafe, and that it's actually transphobic, and that they're excluding people's identity in the classroom and making them not feel safe when using.
You ever hear the kid story where the boy cries wolf too many times? These people use phobe so much that they're crying wolf all the time. So if there ever was an actual phobe, you're not going to believe them, because everybody seems to be a phobe if you don't 100% agree with them.
That language, so that's all I can say. It's really difficult if people are resistant to it, but we gotta keep fighting.
So I have a quick announcement for everybody. Can everybody look up from their phones? My class is important, please. Hello, I'm waiting. You guys look at me. So I usually go by Mr. Johnson, but I would like to be called Zoa now. My name is Zoa, and I'm non-binary.
Microaggressions within children.
I'm going to ask you guys this question. Is there a need to tell the students your new personal shit? Can they not just play along with Mr. Johnson and maybe next year, beginning of class, get into the unique pronouns? Now the kids are going to spend the next few weeks talking about it, cutting up, getting it wrong. We're worried about Zoa's pronoun. Meanwhile, in China, the kids are learning calculus in 8th grade. And our kids get out of school and barely can add and subtract. But here's the ultimate point. This isn't working. Education is going down. We're spending more money on it, and the product we're getting is worse than ever.
Literature, part 2. This one's from 2010. Yet even though it's 2010, we're still going to call them Indians. That's illegal. But these children's quote-unquote history books are so problematic that I came up with another method. So instead of returning them, since not returning them is illegal, you just cyclically renew them so that they never stay on the shelf.
Here we go with the rewriting of history. This person doesn't like the book, so I'm just going to renew them all the time so no one else can see the book. If you haven't read 1984, this is exactly it. And now that all history is on the internet, you can wipe it off at a swipe of a key. So what was history is now erased. And then you get people like this teacher who are going to take the books out because they don't like them.
Today, my student pulled me aside to ask me if I was trans. I said yes, and almost immediately they said, so when I grow up, I can actually be a boy? And honestly, I'm just proud they could say it out loud, because that really takes a lot.
Yeah, if you grow up and you're a girl, you want to be a boy, you can take the hormones, get the surgery, but guess what? What's up here, you're still going to feel like a girl. Then you're going to be hypersensitive when someone looks at you, you're going to think, do they think I'm a girl or a boy? Because everyone watching this can tell when there's a female that transitions to male. We all can see it. I would never be mean to that person, but the person knows I can tell, and it's got to affect them. So the bottom line here is the person's still going to feel like a girl. I like dressing up as Batman during Halloween, but I don't feel like Batman. You get it?
District in my school, and I'm not the only one who has flags up either. This is another classroom, another one. One more. And then we got my room, of course. And the cute little flower one. And this is the best one yet.
Let's play along with this for a second. So let's say you have the rainbow flag up, but you're demisexual. Does that make you feel triggered because they don't have the demisexual flag up, but the pansexual flag? Is it possible to make all these tiny minorities in the ABC Mafia happy? And the answer is, of course not. That's not the point here.
Conservatives are so obsessed with ensuring that Black and brown people stay disenfranchised, that they are willing to completely destroy America's public education system. In conservative states, it is...
Let's talk a little facts for a moment. The schools with the most money coming into them, used to be Chicago, have the worst education. Let's narrow that down even further. Those schools that I mentioned were primarily minority schools. So basic logic would tell you throwing more money at the problem doesn't fix it. What would fix the problem? Maybe the...
Hay que despedir a la mitad de los maestros del sistema. Eso es lo que va a arreglar el problema.
Parents doing the homework with the kids. Maybe education being a top priority the parents push down to the kids. Perhaps instead of letting the kids get on TikTok or Xbox, you make them read a book. This isn't complicated.
Currently illegal to mandate masks in schools during a global pandemic. This means that when white kids get sick from COVID,
se los digo, esta gente de la izquierda son racistas, man.
it'll be easy to convince people that we should stop funding those damn public schools and start funneling money into private ones.
Let's address that for a moment. So if I pay property taxes into the school system, or even federal taxes because the Department of Education gives these schools money, and since it's my money, if I want to divert those funds to a charter school, something in that nature, that shouldn't be a problem when you have teachers like this. However, as we know, the teachers' union's so strong, it's hard to get your kids into a charter school, get a credit, because guess what? As taxpayers, we're already paying for this.
Then on Wednesday, yesterday, they came to me and they said, you know what? My pronouns are they, them. I want you in the class to use they, them. Okay, cool, great. They come to class today. There's names on desks in groups for assigned seats. They can't find theirs because I guess my first class knocked it off. So I go to the class. Hey, is she in anyone's group? Does anyone see her name? It took me 5 minutes to...
Yeah, because the kids were taught basic grammar. They're not totally indoctrinated into the idiot logics. So yes, they're going to mess up the newfangled advocacy program. But rest at ease, comrade. You can indoctrinate these young kids very easy.
Yes, well, as many of you know, I actually do teach in a state.
Yo no quiero pausar el video, pero es que tengo que decirlo. Esto es un chojo de locos, mano. Esta gente están bien locos de mente, de la mente. Están bien...
Where the teaching of critical race theory has been banned. And of course, I would never do anything to oppose Supreme Leader DeSantis. Just not in my nature to do that sort of thing. But if I were, which I'm not, if I were, I would make sure that there were lots of works by people of color in the curriculum that I was teaching. I would make sure that we were...
How about this idea? Whatever you're teaching, just use the appropriate book. Person's light skin, dark skin, medium skin, just use the book to teach the kids. These people were the dorks in school that now have a modicum of power, and they're going to use it to screw up your kids. Let's say you don't have kids. You say, hey, buddy, I don't have kids. Not my problem. Well, guess what? It's your coworker. It's your boss. It's the idiot you have to hire. This is not a sustainable solution for a productive society.
Having conversations about the situations those people of color find themselves in and how things ended up that way. And we'll make sure that we would acknowledge that things aren't...
Why does it always seem like it's the white teachers that really push this the hardest? Now, we all understand the elites at the top want to feel virtuous and push this down to the serfs below. Meanwhile, they're telling their staff to put a covering on their face, keep their mouth shut at dinner parties, and hey, by the way, you didn't do the lawn properly. But these useful idiots are buying into it. Meanwhile, all they are is useful idiots.
Happening one person at a time, but there is, you know what I'm saying, that going on. Yeah, absolutely what I would do, but I won't.
This has been my first year in preschool with a class of my own, another queer neurodivergent educator, and we have been rocking our twos class. We've been talking about gender and skin color and consent and empathy and our bodies and autonomy. It's been...
So it sounds like the whole day for the students hung up on social advocacy programs and the kids leave kindergarten and they still can't tie their shoes. This will never end unless you do not accept this. You push back, you vote. And you make it known this is not acceptable to do to children. Because even if you don't have them, at some point you'll have to deal with these morons.
But our teaching team is shifting and a new person is being onboarded, someone with many years of experience. So today at the lunch table, when the topic of gender and genitals came up, one of our students plainly looked up and said, "Well, I'm a girl today, but I know that teacher Co isn't."
Why in the hell are genitals coming up in kindergarten? Now am I being a Bible thumper conservative? No. Most of these kids have barely quit wetting the bed, and the boys still call their genitalia a wee-wee. But this grown child thinks it's appropriate to have the conversation with the class without the consent of the parents, not in the curriculum.
Y esa es mi preocupación. Piensen en algo. Estos anormales son dementes. ¿Quién te asegura a ti que esta mujer no es una depredadora de menores? O un hombre depredador de menores. Y tú vas a permitir que estos anormales, idiotas útiles, como le llamamos nosotros, se sienten en un salón a hablarle a niños, babies, de sexo. ¿Con cuál propósito? Si no es de empujar su agenda para empezar, empujar esa agenda, sembrarle ideas progres en la mente, despertarle eso y hacer ese trabajo que le toca al padre o a la madre. Eso es bien delicado, mi hermano. Y yo te digo una cosa, yo todavía tengo menores en la escuela. Si esto lo aprueban en Puerto Rico y un retardado de estos anormales se pone pendejo con la hija mía, yo me busco una cárcel, hermano. Y ese es el problema, que igual que ellos pueden haber miles de padres dispuestos a hacer lo que sea si un retardado de estos se pone idiota con un hijo de uno. Y así se lo digo. Así se los dejo decir. Por eso me preocupa tanto este tema. Tal vez ustedes digan, pero Eric está obsesionado. Lo que pasa es que todavía tengo hijos en el sistema, sobrinos en el sistema. Y si un idiota de estos se pone pendejo, mucha gente se va a buscar la cárcel. Nosotros no somos gringuitos. Los gringuitos son más open mind. Aquí somos latinos, sangre caliente. Aquí no le aguantamos cabronas a nadie. Póngase en pendejo, dale.
With the ultimate point to brainwash your kids.
No, they're envy. And the look on the incoming
Mira la cara de esta normal, hermano. Es que es una maldita loca.
teacher's face was priceless. She was shocked in a good way. And she just looked around at the two of us and said, "This class is incredible, and I am so impressed."
I am so not impressed, and the repercussions from this are going to be felt for generations. It's going to be hard to get someone to do a basic job. They're going to want to spend half the day talking about their pronouns and how you hurt their feeling because you didn't say hi at the coffee pot. I understand these topics can make people want to ignore this because it's so frustrating. Think about it this way. We're like a crab in a pot of water. It's simmering and starting to boil, and you don't even know you're cooked. Do me a favor. If you're not a subscriber, do me a solid and subscribe. And do all the other YouTube stuff because it does matter. Thanks for watching.
Sí, mano. Simplemente quería hacer este video para hacer esa notita aclaratoria y que se quede para en un récord ahí. Probablemente este canal me lo vayan a tumbar porque ya tengo un strike y al tercer strike borran el canal completo, así que ya ustedes saben, en el mundo que vivimos, donde nadie puede decir lo que piensa, nadie puede opinar nada y solamente una narrativa se permite y otra no. Pero ahí vamos, los quiero mucho. Pónganle en mente, no permitan que esto pase en ley en Puerto Rico. Va a traer muchos problemas, mi gente. Va a traer muchos problemas a corto y a largo plazo. Los quiero mucho. Nos vemos en el próximo.